guided tour through the delicate and often overwhelming balancing act between food indulgences and social acceptance. And now, as always, here are your hosts, Rod Budget and Hugh Gallen.
All right, we're going to start out tonight with a segment that I'm going to call Food Follow-Ups. These are things we've mentioned in previous episodes that we owe our listeners some answers to. So first of all, this is our 5th episode, and I just want to have a follow-up that's not really about food, but want to simply thank our listeners and the loyal following that we've already amassed. Honestly, Hugh and myself started this podcast as just a simple hobby, and as we've touched on, mostly an excuse to bring junk food into our homes for quote-unquote research purposes. But we've already heard from a lot of the listeners out there through our website and our email addresses, and even on Twitter. So just wanted to say thanks for everybody who's been listening, and welcome to our new listeners out there. I'd also like to just quickly say happy birthday to our own Hugh Gallen. I believe tomorrow is his birthday, is that correct?
Thank you very much. Yes, you're right.
Well, with all those formalities out of the way, we'll dive into the actual food follow-ups. I placed my official vote for the Lay's Do Us a Flavor 2014 vote. Hugh did the same. I was undecided up until this week, and it pains me somewhat to say it, but I threw my vote behind the cheddar bacon mac and cheese flavor. I'm not going to go into full review mode since we've kind of covered that in the previous episode. I mean, hey, they tasted good. If I'm being honest to myself, our legions of fans, Frito-Lay, and the American public at large, it just had to be cheddar bacon mac for me. I considered cappuccino for a long time. Based on our live review, I was crunching those down pretty good there at a steady pace. But in the long run, I just don't think cappuccino would stand the test of time for me. It was a bit of a fling, whereas I think I want a long-lasting relationship in a potato chip. And although cheddar bacon mac is kind of blasé, I could see myself going back for more. Hugh, did you officially vote?
Yeah, I'd love to launch into a spirited debate with you here right now because I voted otherwise, but I don't think I can do that because my initial thinking was much like yours. I just leaned in the other direction. What sold it for me on the cappuccino was mostly that it is a unique flavor and less of the fact that it was really delicious.
Yeah, I hear you. We may revisit that down the line. It sounds like a topic that might be ripe for some strong debate, but for now we'll just reveal our votes as the cheddar bacon mac for Rod and cappuccino for Hugh. My next food follow-up is just giving a quick review on the Hugh Gallen snack hack from last week's episode. So does the butter cereal thing have an official name, Hugh, or is it just kind of Cheerios with butter and garlic salt?
I will officially call it now Poor Man's Party Mix.
I like it. So I'm reviewing Poor Man's Party Mix. So for those who missed the episode, first and foremost, go check it out, but I'll briefly summarize. Hugh suggested a snack involving melting a pat of butter and some garlic salt over some of his kids' Cheerios. So I officially tried it out, and here's my expert take. It tastes good. Not great, but good. I struggled with the butter proportions. It's not an official recipe. He wasn't able to give any measurements, so I kind of had some Cheerios floating on a golden pond of butter in the bottom of the bowl. Not to be confused with the Henry Fonda movie from the early 80s. There was a golden pond of butter with Cheerios kind of floating on top, which tasted pretty good, but I was kind of trying to integrate the butter more into the Cheerio infrastructure. But nonetheless, my conclusion is that it's a very good snack when you're in a pinch, sneaking around, trying to craft something, not getting caught. Would I go out and buy this stuff if it was available at a grocery store? No, I wouldn't. But that's not the point. I would definitely make this again, and I likely will. So thank you, Hugh, for adding to my snacking repertoire.
Okay, I want to ask then, and I don't want to come off as defensive of the idea, because I'm not being, but what did you do with the butter proportions? And where did you place the butter, and how long did you put it in the microwave?
You're
right.
picturing
I gave
me.
you no
You're
instruction on this.
You're picturing 3 Cheerios and a stick of butter.
Well, a puddle is an interesting phenomenon that I don't think I've come across.
You've not come across I may have used too much butter.
I gave you no direction, so this is no judgment on my inquiry.
No, it was a smallish bowl of Cheerios, like a cereal bowl, maybe a little smaller, a kid's cereal bowl. Say it was, a cup of Cheerios, maybe a cup and a half, and more than a pat of butter. Maybe an inch of butter. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Did you get a sense that you had a distribution of butter amongst all of the Cheerios? What was your stirring?
That may have been my problem. I think I forgot to stir and shake, which I think you explicitly instructed me to do. So yeah, I think the problem was I took an oversized pat of butter and just kind of, balanced it on top of the mound of Cheerios and then stuck it in the microwave. And I forgot to stir or shake, which you explicitly said that was part of the instructions. So, hey, that's my bad, and I still liked it. So maybe I'll try to improve upon my technique.
Different people have different feelings on butter. I have had a couple of different experiences with it. One is when I'm actually trying to make it, effective and have good butter coverage. I'll do a little stopping and stirring, and butter melts fast, so you can very quickly end up with, a very hot middle of butter and an outer area of Cheerios with no butter touching them. But the butter is so fried at that point that it's hard to get it distributed throughout. Warm Cheerios without the butter on them on the outside and then some inside super fried, super buttery Cheerios, it's not awful either. If you keep the microwave going, you can actually end up almost baking those Cheerios to a crunchiness with the butter. So that's why I asked about the process.
No, I mean even the golden pond that I created was tasty. So I think you're definitely onto something. Even my screwed up version tasted pretty decent. Hungry Dad. For our final food follow-up, let's actually go back to a clip from last week's episode.
Hugh, I'd like to propose that next week we each pick a secret menu item from an eatery of our choice and try to order it. Report on the outcome next week. What do you have to say about that?
I accept the mission.
So there you have it. Mission was accepted. Even more exciting, Hugh and myself went a little rogue this past week and actually recorded our attempts at ordering some secret menu items.
Today's date is Monday, September 8th. The time is now 7:38 a.m. I'm about to walk into a McDonald's on 42nd Street between 6th Avenue and 5th Avenue in Midtown Manhattan. I'm going to attempt to order a chicken and waffles sandwich, which is not on the menu. It's a secret menu item.
Of surfer.
Can I get a McGriddle, but can I get it with a chicken instead of a meat?
Chicken is for lunch.
Chicken is only at lunchtime? Okay. Thank you very much. I attempted to purchase the chicken and waffles. I asked for a McGriddle with chicken on it, and I was told that chicken was only at lunchtime. Again, this is 7:40 a.m. The time is now 7:46 a.m. I'm at the corner of Madison Avenue and East 40th Street. I'm going to go into a McDonald's and attempt to order a chicken McGriddle or a chicken and waffle sandwich, which is a secret menu item. Can I get a McGriddle, but can I get it with chicken on it instead of the sausage?
McGriddle with chicken?
A McGriddle with chicken on it instead of sausage? Oh, you don't, okay. Only for breakfast, only for lunch? Only lunch. Okay. Thank you. I went in and ordered a chicken McGriddle with chicken on it, and was told that it was breakfast, and the chicken was not available at breakfast time. The time is now 7:48 a.m. The time is now 7:57 a.m. I'm outside of McDonald's on 5th Avenue between East 34th and East 33rd Street in Manhattan, New York. I'm going to attempt to order a chicken McGriddle or a chicken and waffle sandwich, which is a secret menu item not on the McDonald's menu. I'm walking in to the McDonald's now. Can I get a McGriddle, but can I get it with chicken instead of like the sausage? No? You don't do chicken at breakfast time? Okay, thank you very much. time is 7:59 a.m. I just attempted to order a chicken and waffles from a McDonald's on 5th Avenue in Manhattan and was told for the third time that chicken is not a breakfast item.
So Hugh, why don't you jump in and let us know how it went?
So that was an interesting experience. I'll start with before the first one. I really was quite anxious about the whole experience. I was nervous going in there. I don't know why, but it felt bold to do what I was doing. Now, this was a breakfast item, and I didn't have a ton of expectation that I'd get it, but I thought it was possible because I'd heard of this one before. I decided to try 3 different locations. I had the luxury of being in the middle of Manhattan where you can walk to 3 McDonald's locations within 15 minutes, which helped with the experiment. And I was surprised the first time, and I was not surprised the second 2 times. I was pleasantly surprised that the response I got was pretty straightforward. The responses I got didn't seem to indicate a level of shock that I'd even asked. And I was thinking about the fact that I was in New York City, and I think it possibly, and correct me if I'm wrong, it created a world where they've probably seen it all and heard it all.
I think not only that, but I think, for those listeners who have been to Manhattan during breakfast rush, I think it's just a hustle and bustle atmosphere. It's very busy, it's businesslike, it's in and out. It's not like more secluded location where maybe it's not as busy and they're willing to pull some chicken out of the freezer and drop it in. If you want to wait for 10 or 15 minutes, they'll do it for you. I think being in Manhattan, they wanted to get people in and out.
I think you bring up a great point. There was no apparent opportunity to get a special attention or special order, which is why I got rejected. In addition to that, I ended up, after the first time, feeling quite comfortable with the request itself because, look, one thing about New York City and a lot of different places, but particularly in New York, there's such a diverse group of people that it's not shocking to imagine that someone has a dietary preference or a dietary restriction where they'd go into a McDonald's and ask for chicken. And so I had a sense that the request was hardly the craziest special order they'd heard of, based on their response. Either that or it was just utter disinterest. So I was anxious when I started. Once I made the first request and I was told no, it was a pretty simple no. There was no shocking response by the cashier. And then the next 2 just really went by the exact same book.
Yeah, I'll touch on some points after I reveal my effort at ordering a secret menu item. My experience was at Burger King. I decided to order Frings, the fries and onion rings mixed together, as part of my lunch value meal. So let's see how it went. The date is Monday, September 8th. The time is 12:08 p.m. I am sitting in the drive-thru line of a Burger King at an undisclosed Florida location. I am next in line, and I will attempt to order Frings, which is apparently a secret menu item at Burger King. Fries and onion rings mixed in the same container. Let's see how it goes.
Sorry, man. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hi, can I get a number 1 meal with cheese? Instead of fries, can I get Frings with that?
All right. Do you want that small, medium, or large?
Can I get it medium with a root beer as the drink?
Anything else for you today?
That'll do it.
All right, it's going to be 742. Second window, please.
The Frings were receptive without a hitch. A little too receptive. I'm a little concerned that perhaps he didn't pick up on it, but I will go pick up my food and let our listeners know. It is now 12:13 p.m. I have received my order from the drive-thru, and I am pleased to say that there are onion rings and fries mixed in the same container. A generous portion of both, actually, so kudos to Burger King for giving me the Frings. Okay, so first of all, kudos to Burger King and to this particular employee who didn't even bat an eye at my request. This made me curious because he seemed so confident and in the know. So I took note of his appearance. He seemed to be kind of college age with, kind of a gamer looking guy, if that makes any sense. And I think that's the perfect demographic for the secret menu employee. This guy knew his stuff. Obviously, you can't pick who you order from in a drive-thru, but if you're ever trying to order something inside the restaurant, I would say take note of the employees and go for kind of a younger male, because I think they're more in the know and more excited about this stuff. And the other thing I'll say about my Frings experience is I think it's one of the lower degrees of difficulty in the secret menu world. It's pretty well known. It's kind of I think the forward somersault of Olympic springboard diving in its degree of difficulty, whereas Hugh's order was more of a 4.5 with 3 twists.
I probably feel a little bit defensive because I failed.
It was a high degree of difficulty.
To your wild success.
Don't beat yourself up. You were trying to pull off the triple Lindsay.
So getting back up on the horse of secret menu items, I want to start small. Again, it might not be as bold as some of the others, but it's a stepping stone. And it's this. There were some secret menu items that I've seen from Subway, the Subway sandwich shop. And I take exception to the idea of a secret menu item at Subway when it's simply a combination of the different ingredients and calling it an item. But I do suppose you start to get in that direction if you're doing combinations of items that aren't common or aren't on the menu, or are taking 2 completely different sandwiches and putting them together. And that's where I'm going to go with this. It starts back when I was in college and I went on a trip to Japan. And when I was in Japan, I saw an advertisement for a Subway sandwich that I'd never seen before. And it was this. Fairly simple. An egg salad sandwich with ham on it. I saw that and I thought, well, that actually sounds pretty delicious and not that shocking or surprising. I'm surprised I never saw that in the United States. And I've always kept my eyes up and my head on a swivel to see if Subway ever pitched a egg salad sandwich with ham. And I've never seen it. So I've decided, inspired by the secret menu agenda that we've been seeking out, that I'm going to walk into a Subway sandwich shop and see if I can get an egg salad with ham on it. What do you think? Do you think this is going to be a jarring request?
I would think that one would go down smoothly, just because all the ingredients are like right there in front of them. They're made, they're ready. It's literally just scooping some egg salad and putting some ham on a piece of bread. The only potential hiccup would be pricing it, maybe. But if you're willing to pay, I would just say I'll pay the higher price of the 2, or make up something that's on the high side and I'm willing to pay it, then I don't see why it would be a problem at all.
Yeah, I think the pricing is the big problem there. I can't imagine that I wouldn't want to be charged for 2 separate sandwiches, obviously, which under one theory, I suppose they could say, well, we're going to charge you for an egg salad and for a ham sandwich separately. I think it's possible that they might charge the bacon premium that they have with their sandwiches. I don't know if you're aware, they haven't add bacon to anything for this amount.
Yes.
Perhaps they just add that premium to it and replacing the ham with bacon.
It's all pig,
It's all pork. One-time ham for bacon swap would not mess up their records.
Hungry dads. So Hugh and I have young children of about the same ages. I don't know about you, Hugh, but the older one is getting to the age of having birthday parties to go to at least once a month. It's an ongoing thing. So I just wanted to ask Hugh, when you go to these children's birthday parties, do you have any sort of food strategies? Because it's one of these social situations where there's great food around. It's generally for the kids. You can't go in and just pig out. What's your general vibe at a kid's party with a lot of food?
It is kids' birthday season, absolutely. My 3-year-old has been invited to enough parties, and we just threw one last week. I have seen a few different food strategies on behalf of the hosts, actually, first and foremost. The most common strategy is serving pizza to everyone.
Yep.
And cake to everyone. And there's usually, with something like pizza, a good host, they make sure that there's more than enough to go around.
Exactly. But you're not going to take more than enough in front of other people. My last tip, I have not had the guts to try yet, but I think it might work brilliantly. It's something you can only use once, probably. So you need the perfect situation, which would be a lot of great food that you can't really get to easily. And it's going to take some guts, but in case of an emergency, the intentional spill. This is something I've thought out a lot. You have to be sure that you consume most of whatever you're eating or drinking, whether it be pizza, cake, soda. But as you get down to the end, why not just bump into a counter or a kid or whatever? These parties are chaos all the time anyway. Nobody's really staring at you, making sure that you're not intentionally falling over. You got to make sure you're seen as you fall. You got to sell it. You can't kind of back out. But now you're the pathetic loser who spilled all this stuff. But you're also the pathetic loser who will get plenty of sympathy. Hey, there's plenty of pizza left, Rod. Let me get you some more. Sorry about that. I insist. This eliminates all social stigmas in one fell swoop, other than, hey, you fell. But that's kind of fun. The drawback, as I said, is you can't do this more than once, I don't think. Maybe twice over the course of 5 or 10 years, but if you start falling at every birthday party, your wife's going to call you out.
And you're running with the same crowd there. Your wife and those common friends are going to get you. If you can sell it as a shtick, God bless you. But I agree. One time is the trick. And I would probably employ it with cake or cupcakes before I'd employ it with pizza.
I might agree that cake and cupcakes are a better opportunity just because pizza, I feel like, you can get 2 to 3 to 4 slices somewhat easily without, raising too many eyebrows. I feel like cake and cupcakes are kind of a special birthday thing.
They dole each one out, one per person.
Exactly. There's a cake cutting. It's a ceremony involved. They're usually small portions. So as we talk it out, I think you should focus on cakes and cupcakes with their fall.
Yeah, I think dropping a quarter or a third of a cupcake will then entitle you to a brand new
Absolutely.
cupcake.
And it's messier. It's more dramatic. The icing's going to go everywhere.
Exactly. It's more dramatic with the icing. You're exactly right.
The icing might end up in someone's hair. Hungry Dads! Visit our website at hungrydads.com. Follow us on Twitter at hungry_dads. This has been a Hungry Dads production. So yeah, I literally just kind of took a largish pat of butter and stuck it on top.
I need a minute. No, I need like 1 full minute. Don't try. I'll be okay. Stop.
It's not that funny.
Seriously, all right. Okay. I'm just wound up.
It's a funny visual. It's a funny visual. That's the problem.
It's not that funny at all. Okay. I'm serious. It's not that funny. I mean, it isn't. I'm convinced, honestly. Like, it.